Welcome to the Adoption Side by Side podcast, because no one should have to walk the adoption journey alone. I'm Andrea.
And I'm Steph. We walk the journey together and would like to walk it with you if you'll have us.
Welcome to today's podcast episode. If you did not watch part one, here's part two. Is this the first two-parter we've done?
It sure is. And I'm not surprised that it is these two needing two parts, if not 3 and 4.
Which they predicted.
Okay.
We'll let the viewers be the judge. So these are our husbands. So this is Bryson. He's my husband.
And this is Alex, my husband.
And yeah, so we already did part one, which was kind of detailing the adoption process and our husbands' thoughts on that and on surviving us as we panicked and prepared for that. So today's episode is going to be a little more around general adoption thoughts and fatherhood in general. So to start, what surprised you the most about the adoption process?
Start to finish.
Start to finish. I really thought it was going to be longer. I don't want to say I thought it was going to be a lot more difficult, but like we saw a couple hard cases and that was that. But I don't know, for the most part, it was like, here's a case. Are you interested? Yes or no? Yes? Okay. No? Okay. Like, I don't want to say, because it wasn't easy. Like it has to, I can't think of like a middle term of like difficulty.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was going to be a lot more difficult and a lot longer. And then, I mean, when we said yes and we matched, just that, knowing that we just had a month, like, that was, I don't know, it was interesting. I think the whole process, I would say, surprised me. Like, I didn't know how one thing was going to go, and if I thought it was going to go one way, it went another. Like, it was just pretty unpredictable.
I think for me, it was, very, very, very early before, we had talked to people and those sorts of things, was just discovering the matching process. And that it's very much a matchmaking process. And I appreciate how it's set up. But at the time, I'm just like, wow, this is like dating for families.
When people asked me how the process, what it was like seeing a case, I always said it's like Tinder.
Yeah.
You swiped one way or you swiped the other way. And that was the easiest way. Now there's a lot more to it. Like, but like in short, that was how I described it to people who weren't familiar with what we were doing. And then she'd be like, that's ridiculous. But like, but it's kind of how it is. Like,
He's not wrong, but that's not how I thought it was the
you
process.
get a profile and you read through it. You say, I'd like to try to match with this person, or I would like to skip this person, and that's pretty much what Tinder was.
It was
Tinder for families is like the perfect way.
Yeah.
Today we're promoting Tinder for families.
It was just, it was like, wow, that's really, but how it breaks down, it makes perfect sense. But just coming into it was just like, this is not what I anticipated. I thought it was going to be, a lot more, oh, you got to go through this first round of stuff and this second round of stuff and this third round and being very, I didn't know what that was going to be and those sorts of things. And, when we got the match with our son's birth mom, or when she wanted to talk to us, that we were in the final round kind of thing. And, she wanted to talk with us. I'm always the person who wants to go first because you get to set the tone for that and that sort of thing. And then when we found out that we were going to be the first call, then I'm just like, I really don't want to be the first call. I really don't want to be like,
well, yeah, like you're setting the standard. Of like,
right.
This is either going to go
because,
bad.
And because I knew it was, I said in the previous episode, it was going to be an awkward conversation, and I am terrible with awkward conversations. I just thought
you were setting the precedent of like a good phone call or a bad phone call.
I thought I will set the bar so low. and so that was what
they'll have no other reason to feel bad for us.
Yeah. It's like maybe we'll get sympathy out of this. But
just let these people adopt so they don't have to do any more of these interviews.
Yeah, but it was very much, or at least that poor woman, she's married to him. But it was a very eye-opening and surprising thing with the process was just dealing in that situation. Now, I also think that was also one of the stressful things is just like dating.
Yeah.
You're putting yourself out there.
And you want the other person to like you.
And you want the other person to like you. And then you have that rejection moment of, well, wonder why they didn't like us. Like what's the matter?
It is nice though to be rejected with your wife. Like
we like your wife, but we said no because your husband. If that was the email came back, you'd be like,
but and
she would be sad. I'm like, this is my life. This is how I felt all the time.
Well, yeah, and it's just like, well, this is, and just going through that emotion of, I wonder why not? And then, I mean, for us, the process to the match was 9 months, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And so, well, and trying to understand, well, has that been a really long time for this, or are we par for the course? And or
you really hear both,
or is this being the last kid that gets picked for the team? Yeah. Like where are we at in all of this, and trying to make those analogies in your mind and that kind of thing. That was the part that I think was stressful for me, and then just being of the mindset of, so are we saying no to too many cases? Are we saying yes to the wrong kinds of cases? Like, is there something that we're doing that we don't need to be doing or should be doing? Mm-hmm. And is there something wrong with us? Is there something wrong with the book? Like,
right.
And those were just brief
there's
seconds.
No answer for it.
Right.
Like,
and there's like, no. And it's just those brief questions that pop into my head. And I'm just like, no, this is just, sticking to the process. And Bree was very much of, it's just part of the process and those kinds of things. But you just have those moments in your head that you're just like, what if it's something that I didn't do right? Mm-hmm. Did I not say answer the question right? Or
I know. Is that what you say stressed you the most about adoption?
Yeah. I think that in the initial with home inspection and the reports and how invasive that was for me, because I never thought of myself as a very private person, but I do very much have a system where I'm kind of, work is divorced from home life, and I think growing up with parents as teachers, they had to have that, or else it just gets. And so for me, it was just, I like my home, and also I think being an only child, I was always a homebody, and it was just no, this is my space. And people don't get to come into my space and judge me based on.
Well, what stressed you out? Because sitting here, he's just such an easygoing, like all the time type of guy. And he had the background of his family doing the foster to adopt process. I can't say, oh, this is when Alex was stressed the most. He can tell you exactly when I was stressed the most.
I can't really sit here and pinpoint this exact moment made me stressed. I think I don't do well when I have to wait. Like knowing that I have to wait for an answer to something, I do struggle with that because I just want it to be over. I want to know.
Yeah.
So I think the long playing out of was stressful, but at the same time, I knew at some point we were gonna get an answer of this is good or you're done. And I think there was I kind of just accepted that. Mm-hmm. But I can't sit there and be like, oh, we got this case and doing this and we fought about it and that was stressful. I can't sit here and say I also think part of me knows that I just need to be a little bit more reserved and back, because this isn't a shot or anything. I'm she's gonna worry about that, and I want to make sure that she knows your worrying is okay. You're allowed to do that, but I also at the same time I had no control over any of it. So let it be. Essentially, it's gonna be what it is, and we'll figure it out along the way. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. That's kind of how I figure things out as I go about just being a young adult. I find solace in okay, I really have no power. I just gotta kind of trust what's happening. And I guess that kind of leads into faith in adoption. I just had to trust it. If I didn't trust it, then I was just gonna be a wreck. So I think, I guess that kind of goes hand in hand. Really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think too. I think you, Alex, I think for me, those stressful moments, what got me through the stressful moments was the fact that I knew things that she was stressing out over. And once I knew that, and it was things that I could get involved in and could help her, then I could just squirrel that away and kind of push that out of my mind, and then I was fine with it. So I think our stress got better because we were helping you all deal with yours to some extent.
Yeah.
I think so,
Yeah.
and I think that's a guy's thing. I think that's just kind of the masculine urge is that no, here's something I can take care of for you, then I don't have to.
Yeah.
Then
I can distract myself.
Yeah, I can distract myself from it, that sort of thing. And like you said, faith through the entire thing, just even though everything goes well with the home inspection and that kind of stuff, still waiting on the paperwork to come through. Getting there and getting babies born, and you get there and you're waiting for the agency rep to come, so that way you can go into. So you're waiting there and just having that faith and trusting in God. I think it's happening for a reason, and just faith and understanding that we're all adopted by God.
Mm-hmm.
And just having that and having that spiritual growth that happens through the process of adoption that I don't think I really heard talked about in any of the things that we talked in and that sort of thing. It is a huge, you are throwing yourself out there. You are doing things that you never imagined that you would be doing. And you're putting it all out there on the line, and Lord, let your will be done, and trusting in that and not having the control.
Yeah.
And just, hey,
you just, I always do, like, when we're stressing about certain things, like, I try to keep my thoughts as casual as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if something's going on, like, I always just like, oh, God's got me. Like, just so casual. Because if I start to worry about it, then I start to, like, break the thing down. It's like, okay, like, this might be a problem in my life, but God's got me. Or I've told her, like, she'll be like, oh, I don't know what we're going to do about this, or this is going to happen. Or I'm like, God's got us. Yeah. Relax. It's okay. For some reason, that's just what my faith is. It's just, it sounds silly. It's like, oh, here's a casual faith. No, I keep it casual because I need it to be this everyday thing for me. And she would tell you, I'm more of a casual guy. So, like, that's what keeps me calm. Oh, something's going on. Don't worry, God. Like, I know God's got me. I know that He knows that I know. So, that's just how I keep myself okay.
And like growing up with stress and or with anxiety and those kind of things, my mom would always be like, "Hey, it can happen." Just with the things that you would think would be, she just, "Hey, it can happen." And I think through the whole process that just like resonated. Hey, it can happen. It can happen. And when it's going to happen, and when it does, be on God's time. And one of the illustrations that I use in sermons all the time is that everyone knows home footprints in the sand. And when there's two sets, we're walking side by side, and when there's one set, Jesus is carrying you. There's an addendum to that poem that is, and that right there, that little divot that's just being drugged through the sand, that's when I drugged you through it, kicking and screaming. And I think having that faith in God that I know you're dragging me through these things that make me uncomfortable, these things, because you're getting me where I'm supposed to be. And I think that's where faith plays such a huge role in it.
Absolutely.
I think it's like, I've realized, like, through the whole process, like, that's when you really gotta be like, okay, like, I'm trusting all of this process.
Mm-hmm.
What you're gonna let it be is what it's gonna be, and I just have to be okay with that. And I think for me, at least, it's calming. People who struggle with that need to have the outcome. Like, I need to know, like, that's
Now, why you're looking at me?
it's okay to not know. And I also think that goes back to, like, my dad had always reassured, like, hey, you'll figure things out as you're doing them. That's sometimes the best way to learn. And I have learned that that's usually right. So knowing that, and just knowing that, like, hey, God's got me, the good Lord's on my side at all times, like, it'll be okay. Whether this case says yes, or this case says no, I get to look at another one the next day.
Yeah.
So until someone tells me you're done, I have another day to kind of fight through it.
Watching Liz go through the harder emotional things as we were figuring things out, and once again, I think that comes in and falls into faith because sometimes it was stuff that's just so far out of our control, and just being the reassuring, it's going to happen. It's, not on our schedule. And some of us require schedules more than others,
do.
but
I definitely don't like feeling out of control, and like there's not a whole lot in this process you can truly control.
Not once
There-
you get past that hump,
Yeah,
buddy.
there's a few little elements like, oh, let's try this fundraiser.
Mhm.
Like you can start something, but you have to trust that it's going to bring in money. You have to
Mhm.
trust a case will come. You have to trust that even if you've said yes and then they say no, that it's for a reason. And so, yeah, that's difficult for me. My control.
and there were times that it would break my heart to see what she was going through emotionally. But then realizing I've got to be the one that says it's going to be okay. And sometimes that is such a jump of faith that it's just like, it's going to be okay because I know it's in God's hands. Now, in my heart of hearts, do I know that? Yes. Is my mind still dealing with if it's not, yeah, I'm still dealing with that. But like we said before, I think it's that masculine urge that we have to help them.
Yeah.
And we want to protect them. And so you're able to push that aside. I think that, the Apostle Paul talks about putting childish things away. I think for me, it was putting away my own childish selfishness and worries and focusing on what was best for her and what I needed to be for her. I think that's.
I think the one thing I struggle with is like not really knowing what to say. Because like I'm not going through some of those things that she's going through. She's been dealing with it a lot longer than I've been around. Like, was there a lot of trial and error of learning like when to be supportive and when to kind of back off? Absolutely. I think you always want to be like the protector, but like sometimes you just gotta let them, maybe not just them, but like let her or let your child figure out, okay, this is how I feel, this is how I need to work through it, and then, hey, can you help me with this? Absolutely, I'll help you when you need to. It goes back to like what we wanted to start the whole process of like, she felt I was overly supportive, but at the same time, like I had to let her know, like, I'm going to support your decision. I can't make the decision for you. I'm okay with whatever decision you make because I want to support you, not the object that you want to get. Like, first and foremost, you are my primary thing to be okay with, to support.
Right.
Was that a little harder for her to accept? Absolutely.
That's his father coming out, and I love my father-in-law, but that's
But that's the truth of it. It's a hard truth to sometimes swallow. It's, yeah.
But when I'd come home crying or I'd be sitting on the couch, he'd look at me and he has learned, like, is this I need to sit there with her moment? Or is this a
Big Mac.
go get her a Big Mac moment? Or is it a call her mom moment? Like, he's learned, because I can be more emotional because of my endo, he's learned the moments that's needed, and he always showed up with whatever. Like if I sent a text message, whatever it would be, I'd walk home to a Big Mac on the table, and it would be exactly what I needed to comfort me in that moment.
Big Mac is her flowers.
Yeah. I don't want flowers. Give me a Big Mac.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but
I
I
mean
mean,
the food.
yeah.
And I think that, and this is all more just in a relationship. Adoption just adds a new dimension to the whole thing. But figuring out, because sometimes she doesn't like it, but sometimes she does need someone to stand toe to toe with her and go, no, stop that. That's dumb. And
You just don't listen.
and she doesn't like that, but sometimes that's needed. Sometimes I would serve that up when I shouldn't have. And
I think every husband.
Yeah, and figuring that out when this is a time to just go, yeah, that stinks. Or it's a time to be like, we can fix this problem. Or it's a time to, no, just stop where you're at. We're not going down this road. And, figuring those kinds of things out. It's, you learn, I mean, you're married for 9 years. 8 years when we started
Yeah.
this process. I mean, so we've had 8 years and we still learned more about each other through the adoption process, I think, just because it added so many different layers
Yeah.
and
It's just another layer then when you become parents, like that relationship
bring
changes
up
again.
bring up things, from our childhood that we really never thought about
Right.
before, but now we're thinking about it.
Yeah, we find ourselves kind of talking about like she'll do something like, "Oh, that's the only child of you coming out." And we'll kind of rag on each other, but then like I'll do something. She's like, "Don't worry, he had brothers and sisters. Like, he had." So like I think like that cool dynamic, separate ways that we all kind of learn things, and now we're teaching it the same way, but like in a way that it's like it's bringing it together. Is that's been the coolest part of doing all that with her.
So along with that, how did you, as a couple, how did we support each other? Do you remember what we did?
Well, he was talking about like putting your foot down and saying no. There were times where like I would like, no, we're not going to do that, but you had to fight it out with yourself, but it was with me.
Yeah, we do that because I like him to.
I'd be like, okay, like get it out, like then let's figure it out. Which again, it goes back to like we are very good at challenging each other. Like we're both not afraid to kind of stand toe to toe and look at each other and be like, this is how we're going to do this, whether I like it or you like it, but we're going to figure it out. We're very good at challenging each other, which sometimes goes good, sometimes it goes bad, but at the end, like usually the end result is a bit more of togetherness as a couple, which is one of my favorite parts.
Oh, I'm glad. Not what I was talking about though.
Can I take a guess what you were talking about?
Yes.
It's gonna be the date nights.
Yes,
Yeah.
our weekly date nights that we like made sure we had. You don't remember them?
I remember that we did date nights
Every single week.
Yeah, every Wednesday.
Yeah. Just to like stay connected because the adoption process can be so draining individually as a couple. We like that was our thing. We just even if there was something adoption tied into it, like the night we went for our physicals and then went for dinner.
Yeah.
We still made sure to like have that time, and we've kind of lost it over the last 2 years because
we've added a wrinkle to it.
Yeah.
We're all son all the time.
Yeah.
I think that also came from like we were in Arizona for 3 weeks. It was just the three of us.
Yeah.
And we had to do. We wanted to go to dinner. He had to come.
No, he could just stay in the hotel. Like jacuzzi pool.
Right.
It makes me think back like when we went to DC and we were walking to I think it was the Lincoln Mall. And that guy came up to us. He's like, "Can I interview you guys about how to travel with a child?" We both started laughing. We're like, "We are the last person you want to interview." And he was like, "Why?" And we kind of told him like, "We traveled to Arizona. We adopted our son. We learned very quickly how to travel with him. We had to get on a plane with him. We took him for a 3-hour car ride that he slept through the whole way to the Grand Canyon, which he then slept through the Grand Canyon and then slept the whole way back." We learned very
that now. Can you imagine like I look back and like how do my kids sleep so much? Like I know all babies do, but now I'm like, where's that today?
Slept the whole way home on the airplane.
Like we learned very quickly how to be
the three of us.
Which even now we catch ourselves like we'll have a stressful week. I'm like, man, would not mind going back to Arizona just to be 3 of us.
Yeah.
So I don't think we like did away with date nights in like a bad sense of like we're losing ourselves. We just learned that like, oh, now we get to bring a third wheel.
Right. Yeah.
And
there's like connection as a family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we learned very, very quickly. We had to learn very quickly. We're a unit of 3 and we need to learn to do that. And now we're doing it in a strange place we would just walk around. They would say it's a park, and it's like a couple trees with a cactus. Like, where's the park?
Yeah. One time they were like, "Go to this lake. There's so much to do there." We got there.
We're like, "Wow, this lake is beautiful." We don't have a boat.
We don't have a stroller. Like I was baby wearing, but how far do you want to walk with the newborn? And you're right. We did. Yeah. We have just changed.
We went to the first restaurant we went to was just to get cheeseburgers. He came with us. I'm like, wow, this is the first time we've taken him out.
Yeah.
At 5 days old.
Like we couldn't just call my mom and be like, hey, we're going on a date night. Can you come watch him? Like it was, if we want to go out, he has to come with us. which I loved.
Oh, I absolutely love it. I don't. Yeah, no.
And anytime now I say, hey, let's go on a date. Wow.
I don't want to leave him.
I just
I know,
can't.
I'm the same. It's
I
like
just can't
people are
leave.
telling me all the time, they're like, why don't you guys like, I mean, we've had some, and we should do more date
Mhm.
nights. Like, it's not that we're saying like, no, we don't need to do date nights. But a lot of times we're like, we just don't want to be away from
Yeah.
him. Like, we'd rather find something all of us can do together. So
I'd rather watch Cars for the 800th
Yeah.
time.
seriously,
Yeah.
Eating-
800.
Eating a pizza we made and
Yeah.
like, going out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to miss that time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what is your favorite part of being a dad, guys?
That's an easy
That's an
question.
easy
I say
one.
the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, picking one part.
It's all of it.
The poopy diapers.
Even that.
When you do it, it's
True.
my favorite.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I enjoy having the stories that I get to share
Yeah.
with our guys. Be like, oh no, get ready because he's going to have that onesie, and it's going to have the feet in it,
Mhm.
and there's going to be a blowout, and it's going to be one of those experiences that you will always remember because that is the onesie that I don't care how much sentimental value is tied up in it, it's gone. It's not getting
I
clean.
mean,
It's
everybody
gone.
loves the coming home to the da-da, and the pitter patter. Like, there's nothing better than that. And, yeah, that's an easy. I think every dad would say like the
Yeah.
whole thing. Like,
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
stressful
like-
parts of it. Yeah, are they worth it?
Yeah, even the I love the tantrums.
Yeah,
I even love the little tantrums. Like,
At this age, they're pretty funny.
Yeah,
Because,
well,
like,
and,
okay,
like-
get over yourself.
sure they set me off sometimes and that sort of thing, but at the same time, it's just realizing all the things that he's dealing with and knowing that you're in this process where the hormones are raging in a way that they're not going to do again until he's a teenager. And suddenly you start realizing the similarities between this toddler and the teenagers that I've worked with in youth group and coached and those kinds of things. And it's like, parents weren't kidding when they, told us those kinds of things, but it's true. And just watching them learn.
I was just saying, if I've had to pick a favorite thing, it's like to watch him like
Mhm.
learn and figure things out because he's so visual. Like, he wants to figure things out and learn them on his own. And you watch him figure it out, and then like now he knows how to do that. And then it's like, oh, well, I don't have to show him how to do that. But it's like watching him learn how to do it is probably the coolest thing I'll ever see.
Yeah, like my favorite story is he has this little tin Jack in the Box. I kept thinking, why are the sides of this Jack in the Box dented the way that they are? Then he randomly shows me exactly why, because he figured out this is a stepping block that I can take anywhere, and I can add 4 inches to my height to reach anything. And he just rocked over one side and step up on it. I'm like, that's where the dents are coming from. And just watching the wheels ticking and how can I figure out how to make this work? And
Yeah, I would say if I had to pick like a favorite thing, it's probably that. Because like, you can like physically see them
Yeah.
learning like something new, or you can see them getting frustrated. It's like, no, just do this one little thing, and it's like, oh, they got it.
last night he put a vanilla wafer into a Hot Wheels that shoots out the car, and he put the vanilla wafer in it. He shot that vanilla wafer out down the track, and I'm just like, who would have thought to do something like that? And he's just giggling just because he knows I just mad scientist this
Well,
thing.
it was all fun and games till the Pomeranian came to eat his vanilla wafers.
Right. That's. But yeah, it's just all of it. That's picking one part that would be painful.
Mm.
Is there a recent memory or a moment that you have that makes you think, all right, this is worth it always, even on the hard days?
When he like would give me like his baseball glove and like want me to throw it, I'm like,
Mm.
that's cool. Like one day I'm gonna get to come home and he's like, hey, can we go outside
Yeah.
and throw? Like,
Mhm.
okay, that's what's worth it. Like those little things like that, I think that's cool. Like that would answer your question.
I think it's also sports related. First time he started dribbling a basketball and like bounced it to me, and I'm just like, this is the greatest thing
Yeah.
ever. And it was just that my dad and I used to do that all the time, and that's something that I'm going to get to do with my son.
Mhm.
And that's just incredible. There's no other way around it. And I think that's just the light up of, oh wow, there's going to be all these cool things. And the first time you start picking up Hollywood's cars was just like, yes. And now they're everywhere all the time.
Everywhere.
Oh, I like this question.
Do you want to ask it?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay, what's the biggest dad fail or funny moment you've had so far?
Both have 2 years here. So.
I'm going to ask you what you think it is.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. What do you guys think is our
Do you have your
biggest funniest?
You can't really pinpoint one, but I'm sure. I think like as a dad,
sure the wives will be
as a dad who has a dad fail, I'm sure in my mind I've been like, oh, that wasn't a dad fail at all. But like in your head, you're like, what an idiot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I can't believe he thought that
can,
was okay.
I think we can rationalize our failures to an extent.
I thought of one because you said this the other day, but it's more on the funny scale than anything too serious. But our son is really in this mood. If he loves to play chase, he loves for us to chase him. He loves for us to wrestle. He loves for one of us to hold him while the other one chase us down. He thinks it's so funny. So Bryson started doing with him.
It all started with, we were playing one night and my dad used to do this whole cow bite thing. And so I was doing it to him and I'm like, cow bite. Suddenly this became a thing. And so now he calls me a cow.
So he'll be like, cow, where are you? Cow, fast, cow. He said to me the day, I wish I'd chosen a more like regal sounding animal name than cow.
All the animals I could have picked, but chasing him through the house going, and then I'm like, the first time he takes a trip to a dairy, the child's going to be so good.
And he's gonna look at they're gonna come get me. He sat, the video I showed you of him talking on the couch. It was this whole like 10-minute discussion of cow, fast, hide, blankie, cow, come, cow, dark, cow, come.
Yeah, no, cows don't do really much of any of that. I would say a funny moment.
I was gonna say when we're laying in bed and he's doing his like rough and tumble routine, and he'll come up to me and I'll go up to mom and go, oh, and then he gets in her face and he goes, and he comes back to me and go tell mommy, blah 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 blah, and he comes back and goes, or when you get him to like suffocate you with a pillow.
It's great.
It's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah. So a little bit more serious of a question. How do you hope to talk about adoption with your sons as they get older?
I just want him to know that just because his story might be a little different, it's still okay. Like if he's probably gonna have a moment at school where somebody's picking on him, it's like, oh, that's not your real dad. Like I want him to know, like, yeah, that's okay. Like mine's a little different, but I have a dad just like you have a dad. And I'm still his dad. Like I just want him to know, like, just because it's slightly different, it's still okay. I still love you. Like that's not going to change anything. Just remember that it's okay. Everything's a little different. It still all works out the same way. And if he has feelings about that, then we'll work through it. But I just want him to know, like, so like in a couple years when he's upset, I'll just say, hey, watch this video.
Already said everything.
Just know that it is okay. That's the thing that I kind of always say to myself. Like, just it'll be all right. Just because it's a little different doesn't mean it's bad.
I think it's that constantly evolving conversation and telling him, age appropriately what we can about adoption and sharing with him stories and those sorts of things. And what Alex just talked about is something that I was concerned with, and I think it was the same video. Some of the videos were not the greatest, most educational things in the world. It's kind of like
updated.
Well, some of them I was like, ugh. But it was so. I taught my son how to defend himself if somebody comes back. Well, that's not your real dad, and coming back with the idea of, yeah, well, you see, my parents picked me. Your parents were just stuck with you. Something along those lines to turn it on its head, kind of thing,
right?
And defend himself and that sort of thing. And that's always been what sarcasm is my personality in a nutshell. And so teaching that kind of stuff, and teaching him that, every story is different, and no one has the same story, and that's okay because it's part of what makes you you. And and just that no matter what's going on, dad's there. Dad's going to do what he can. Dad's going to, my parents have taught me, if nothing else, that when the rest of the world seems like it's, going to hell in a handbasket, we'll still be there.
Yeah.
And just, making sure that he knows that. And as we go through adoption, as we go through talking about adoption, those kinds of things, just knowing I will give you as much as I possibly can. And once you're of an appropriate age and you want to do more or whatever the case may be, we will do that. And hopefully our relationship with his birth mom grows, and we're able to be in more constant communication and those kinds of things. But no matter the case, just letting him know that he is a blessing beyond measure to his birth family, to us, and that we all just want him to succeed, and letting him know that.
What values do you want to instill in your sons as adopted fathers?
Be different. It's okay. It's all right to be a little different. I think, oddly enough, like when I was getting a shower, this was kind of one thing like I was just instinctively thinking about, like, do I want to show him everything that my dad showed him? Yeah, of course. But at the same time, like, he's not me, and I'm not fully like my dad. Like I have like my dad's values and stuff, but like I'm trying to think of a way to like word this. Like I want to show him everything that I was shown, but like and more, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know how to word that.
No, I know.
But
what
I-
you mean.
Yeah.
But like, I guess that makes sense. Like, yeah, I want to show him everything that I was learning, but like, I want him to know more.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, like, my dad was like, "Oh, I want to show
Yeah,
him
yeah,
everything, but
yeah,
I
yeah.
want him to know more."
Yeah. I think
that's like a dad.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think every generation is like, I would do this the same as my parents. I might do this differently than my parents, whether because you didn't agree with it or it's just a different way to do things.
Times change too.
Yeah.
Evolve
Just,
with it.
yeah.
And I think for me, it's embracing your identity, embracing your experience, owning it. Don't run away from who you are. And knowing that God had a plan and continues to have a plan for you in your life. And raising him with Christian values, and raising him with the things that he needs to know, raising him to be stronger than I am in some situations, and not to be as concerned with certain things, and to maybe not have the anxieties that I do, and to teach those coping skills that everybody needs, that my parents did an excellent job of trying to teach me coping skills and that kind of thing, and really making sure that comes along. And I keep going back to those sarcastic comments and those sorts of things, but learning to be proud of you and who you are and your heritage and how you got to be where you are, and owning that, not running away from it, not fearing it, not letting it be something that weighs you down. Don't be a victim. And I think that's kind of the way I want to instill those kinds of values in me.
So with that, is there any advice you could give to other men who are walking alongside their wives as they're trying to decide if they should grow their family through adoption or not? Any advice you would give them?
Just fully do it. Like, if you're gonna commit to it, don't commit to it halfway. Because if you're halfway in, there's no point. Like, you gotta be, whether you're comfortable or not comfortable with it. If you're gonna do it, you have to do it. Figure out a way to be okay with doing it, because it's different. But like one thing I did kind of learn is like, again, I'm gonna reference one of my work wives. Like I adopted, and then like she was pregnant. Like she became pregnant, and then like just like the similarities and the parallels that like we both would talk about, and then it continue to talk about. Like it's still very similar. Like you're still becoming a parent in the same way. Um, so don't shy away from the fact that it's different. Embrace that it's a little different, but you're still gonna have a similar story that when you're around your guy friends, you can still talk about the same things. Because like I know, like for me, that was one thing that I thought about. I was like, how am I gonna talk about this stuff with like my friends who are gonna have kids? But in reality, it's like the same way. Like my friends don't look at him as as something different. They're like, oh, like that was just how he became a dad and how that happened. So like
it really is so much of like if through adoption you become a parent, it is exactly the same.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously there are biological differences that we get to skip, but I mean, the actual parenting stuff is so it's what's the difference?
There isn't anything.
Yeah.
like
I
we
mean,
each had a hospital stay and we still had to learn things. Like it's
You still the first time you had to put
Yeah.
that car seat in, and then first you had to take the
Yeah.
car seat out.
how to mix the formula.
and like just
Yeah.
because and you have to get rid of the idea of raising something that might not be yours.
Mhm.
It is yours. You're raising it as yours. That's the way it is. I think that's with guys. I think that's the biggest mechanism that they or we use to say, "Oh, I can't do this. I don't want to do this because it's not my blood." Well, it is. Like there are things that he does where I'm like, "Oh, that you got that from me, or you got that from her." But then like he does things, and I'm like, "Where's that coming from?" Like so, like you're still getting like you're still being a father.
Yeah.
It's still the coolest thing you can do. So get that idea out of your head of like you're not raising something that's not yours because you're raising something that is fully yours, whether that's blood or not blood. And so I think that can like that ideology of adoption, it needs to just disappear. But again, I would just say if you're gonna do it, just dive in and do it and embrace it. That's the only way you can. That's like the perfect way to really do it.
Yeah.
I think first and foremost, get rid of your preconceptions. I think come at it with an open mind, learn. Don't just Google it, talk to people who are through it, talk to people who have been through it. I realize that you don't see a lot of adoptive dads talking in these situations, which is just us being stupid men on that side.
I think in the whole scenario of adoption, like if I had to pick the biggest holdup in going through it, it would be on the dad side.
Yeah. And I think get rid of your preconceptions. You don't have to be, so open-minded that your brain fell out or anything like that, but go into it and learn about it. Talk to someone who's been through it. I think that the greatest things that we learned were talking to people who have been through some form of adoption, whether it be private adoption or foster to adopt or whatever the case may be, and learning those things and figuring those things out. That's some of the cool stuff that you guys are doing with the podcast. And I think that that's important. I also think that there is a degree of you are stepping into a position and it is your son, but you're also filling in for this other guy. You're also being a brother to whoever this is, even if you will never know who he was, what he did, whatever the case may be. I have the luxury of, knowing pieces of that puzzle and having met him, but you're doing one of the greatest things that anybody can do, and you need to embrace that and embrace it for your family, embrace it for this child. And I think that that's where, we talk about man up and stand up and those kinds of things. You're standing in the gap for somebody else. And so you even just have a greater responsibility that you're being trusted with this life. And, that's incredible. And God has put you into that position. And so get pride out of your mind, because you were selected to do this. God's calling you in that direction. God's, calling your family in that direction. Don't fight it. Don't be so caught up in all of the what ifs. You figure it out as you go. And I think that what you will find is that birth parents, adoptive parents, were still all going through the same what ifs. It's just a slightly different way of going about getting to the what ifs, but it's still the same. What if I messed this up?
Yeah.
What if I'm not cut out for this? God will give you what you need. And and go back to your faith and look at what God did for you to adopt you into his family. Don't just let Jesus have done that for you. He did that for you so that you are in this position at this time, at this moment, so that you can do it for somebody else. And I think that that's the thing that you need to embrace, learn, be open-minded. It's an incredible experience. There are frustrating parts. There are scary parts. There are all the things, all the emotions are there. But at the end of the day, you're a dad. And you are responsible for a new life that needs somebody who is a defender, who is a teacher, who is be there for every moment, be the encourager, be the teacher, be the one that stands in the way, do all of those things. And I think that's the advice that's coming from me.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Did we do it? Did we survive?
I think we just survived the men.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Do you
Well-
have anything else you would like to add or say?
I don't think so.
Just say it all.
I think that we said it all. I think it's a blessing to be called to do this.
I agree.
All right. Well, on that note, we would like to thank the two of you for being here today. And
How many times have we tried to schedule this interview
think
between
we-
sickness?
you had a choice.
Yeah, I mean,
And we look forward to maybe having you back again.
Maybe.
And Alex is going to close us out in prayer now.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for allowing us to be able to speak on something that we feel is so important, allowing us to be able to conversate about our children and hopefully inspire someone else to go about the same path that we have. And if you do inspire someone else to go down that path, allow us to be a vessel for them. We hope that you bless our children as we get to watch them grow, and bless anyone who watches this podcast. And all God's people said,
Amen.
Thank you for joining us for today's episode. You can find us on all major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and YouTube.
You can also find us at Adoption Side by Side on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube video for more adoption content and to follow along in our own personal journey.